Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a new video. So we're going to be installing a new modification on my 2017 STI. I'm currently starting to do a refresh of the brakes, and this is the first part of it. I'm going to be doing rotors, new pads, going to bleed the whole system. I also picked up the Perrin master cylinder support brace. Basically, this just sits in front. I'll show you in a second in the engine bay, but the actual master cylinder sits right here. And the firewall is actually, there's some flexibility. It's pretty thin. So when you actually press the brake pedal, the whole cylinder moves back and forth. So it kind of loses the brake feel. It makes it feel a little bit softer than it really should. What this actually does, it's a brace that fits right in front of the solenoid. So it stops that flex. So immediately you feel a much firmer pedal feel in the braking, much more confident, inspiring, and it just feels the way it should because you got Brembos on the car and it should feel a little bit more firm than it actually does. So this is the first step of my brake refresh. I wanted to do everything separately. I wanted to feel each modification and see what it does for the car. Supposedly this is a pretty big change and you can feel it right away. So I wanted to do this first. I didn't want to do all the rotors and I didn't want to do everything at once, like I said, because I wouldn't know just how well this actually works if I did it together with the the pads and rotors. So let's take a look at what we're actually looking at here. It's very self-explanatory. I mean, maybe you don't really know until I actually show you. But this is what it looks like. Really, really nice. It's milled out. I believe it's made out of aluminum. I mean, I think this is the beefiest one on the market. There's some other ones out there that are not, this thick or this nice, in my opinion. I think this is the nicest one out there. I guess the only con to this is there's not much room to work. So if you have big hands, this is a pretty big piece to put into the area where it needs to go. So it is going to take a little bit of manipulation. Luckily, I have some girlish hands. I really don't have, huge guy hands or anything like that. So I think I'll manage just fine. But this piece is really nice. Like I said, it's all milled out here. And it's just, the actual finish on here is super nice. This is actually the same finish that is on my Perrin front strut bar. The actual strut mounts that hold the bar on is made of the same or finished in the same finish. Usually it used to be gloss, but now it's more of like a matte finish, which I actually prefer. I think it looks a little more classy, a little bit more higher end. But yeah, super nice, really clean. And yeah, so that's the brace. As always, you get the instructions with any Perrin part. You get the hardware too. It's going to be 4 different screws. You can sort of tell here there's going to be 3 longer ones and 1 thicker one and 2 Allen keys. I'll explain exactly where they go. Everything is very, very easy to install, but it's just a matter of getting everything in the place where it needs to go. So let's take a look on the car, show you exactly where it goes and kind of what we're working with. All right, so I got the hood open, and basically where we're gonna be working tonight is right here. This is what holds the brake fluid. It's the whole cylinder. And if you look down there, that metal circle right there, that's the actual, where we're gonna actually place the brace. So the screw is actually gonna be butt up right against that, and it's gonna hold from flexing. I'll try to get some shots of that whole cylinder moving so you can see, before and after, so we can see just how much this actually works. But if you can kind of tell, there's really not much room in there. We're actually going to be mounting it on the strut tower over here. There's some holes and screws that you screw right into it. So again, it's very simple, but getting to it is the hardest part. So what I'm going to do is actually, these are all the fuel lines. There's just, I think it's a 10 or 12 millimeter on this bracket right here, this black bracket. I'm gonna remove that so I can move this back and forth and have a little bit extra space. And then I'm gonna get the 3 main screws into the actual coilover tower or the strut tower over here. And then the one that is not the hardest, but what we actually have to do is we're gonna have to remove this tire or this wheel. And there's actually a hole that goes right into the brace through the wheel well. So the best thing to do is actually take the wheel off and you'll be able to gain access through there. All right, so I got the bracket removed for the fuel pressure regulator and the fuel lines. So now I got some room to move things around. All right, so these are 2 holes that we're gonna be working with. There's another one too that I can't seem to show on camera, but there's 3 in the, 1, 2, and there's another one over there. And there's actually a hole, man, it's too hard to show, but there's a hole that goes straight through the strut tower that you're able to access through the wheel well over there. So now that I got some access over here, I'll be able to slip the brace in there and just start screwing in the screws. All right, so this is the hardware and everything out. I removed the set screw from the actual brace because it actually says the first thing you're supposed to do. That went right in that hole. Remove that just for the time being until we actually install it. There's 3 M6 Allen screws, and then there's a larger M8 with a washer. So it's gonna be set like that. If you notice on the side here, there's the 3 holes that we're gonna be using that are already in the side of the actual strut tower. And then there's one right here, which is actually, it's hard to see, but you can see the threads in there. That one is going to be the one that we're going to go through the wheel well. So we're going to be using this. It's going to thread right into that. These ones are going to thread right into the strut tower. So let's get this actually manipulated into the area where it needs to be. Then we can start with these 3, and then we'll get the wheel off. Get this in here. Okay, so, well, almost just dropped it. All right, so wow, got those 3 M6 bolts in. You can't even see it. You can see the Perrin right there, but man, that is hard. You literally have to do it blind, like you just put your hand in and hopes you get the thread. And then I ended up using a longer Allen key. I also ended up using a T30 socket on there, so I was able to actually torque it down pretty well because the Allen key, you can only do so much. But I managed to get this in there. I was using different extensions and everything. And you can kind of see the mess that I've made to try and get this tightened down, but I got those 3 tightened down really well. Now it's just a matter of removing the wheel, getting the one through the wheel well, which is very simple. It lines right up with the hole that it needs to go into with the threads and the actual brace. So let's jack the car up, take the wheel off, thread that in, and then we can button all this stuff up. I still have the fuel line, fuel regulator unbolted. I didn't bolt that back yet because I want to make sure everything is good before I do that. But whew, that was, sorry I didn't get much footage. It's honestly, it's impossible to get any, yeah, there we go. We can see it right there. It's really impossible to get any actual angle or anything in there. I mean, I could hardly even see what I was doing, so I can't imagine getting a camera in there. But man, pain in the butt. I mean, you can tell by my hands, they're filthy. My arms are probably gonna be so cut up tomorrow because I was shoving them in there and just hoping I would not drop anything, and luckily I didn't. But okay, out of breath. Let's get the wheel off and get the last bolt in. There's the hole right here. Hard to tell. Let's see if I can get a closer shot, but you can kind of see the threads. It literally lines right up. I already tightened everything down, and I realized I probably shouldn't have tightened it, just so I was able to line that up, but it literally lines up perfectly. Now, as you can tell from back here, I have a lot of room. Sorry, the car is very dirty, so don't mind that. But I have a lot of room in here since I have coilovers. If you have the stock suspension, you might have a little bit harder time reaching that bolt or the thread, but you probably be able to reach in there with an extension or something like that. But since I'm on coils and it's much skinnier and doesn't take up as much room, I'm able to kind of reach right in there. Now we're going to put in the set screw, which is the last piece of the puzzle. We're literally just going to thread it into the brace until the screw head right here actually touches the cylinder right here, this metal part. After that, we're going to turn the set screw to another half to 1 full turn to put preload on the part. And then using a 19mm wrench, we're going to tighten the actual nut right here, which is the locking nut, so it doesn't move. All right, so as you can see, that thread right there, we're going to take the large Allen screw that is provided, or set screw as they call it. Here's the set screw. We're going to put the flat side towards the actual cylinder, and then we're going to tighten it down with the Allen key, but let's thread this in. Oh, don't drop it. That would make the end of this install terrible. All right, so there we go, threading it in. So we're gonna thread it all the way until it touches the actual cylinder. So right now it's touching. So now what I'm going to do is take the larger Allen key provided. I can fit it in there. I'm gonna turn it a quarter to a full turn. So, or sorry, a half to a full turn. So that is a half. So I did probably about 3/4. I did in between the half and the full turn, as I said. Now we're going to take the lock nut that is provided, thread it on there, and tighten it down so it doesn't move. Now we're going to take a 19mm and just tighten it down. All right, cool. So there we go. It's in there, installed. Now what I'm gonna do is actually go test the pedal, see if I can feel any difference right away. Now let's get a shot before and after. I already filmed one before, obviously, but let's get an after shot to see how much it doesn't move and how much it actually helps. All right, guys, so as you can just see, this hardly, I don't even think you were able to see it in the video. Definitely doesn't move at all compared to prior. Before you saw it kind of lifting up and flexing. I was slamming down on the pedal really hard and it wasn't budging at all. So definitely a big difference. I'm definitely gonna feel it as I'm driving. I'll report back once I get more feedback with it. I'm actually driving on the road and everything. But I can tell right now the pedal feels more firm. It feels more direct. It doesn't feel as floaty or you have to push the pedal as much. It feels the way it should be. That, I mean, you can tell by my hands. That was I got a little bit of a blood arm, I guess. Install the actual process of it is easy. It's literally 4 screws and 4 bolts. But it's just a matter of getting to everything. That's what makes it so hard and time consuming. This took about an hour 15 or so. And I was taking my time and everything. And now that I've done it once, it shouldn't take more than a half an hour. Now I know exactly what to do and just what to move and how to get to everything. So, but yeah, guys, that's it for this video. That's it for this install. I appreciate you guys checking out the channel and watching the video. If you have any questions about the brace or anything else, be sure to ask them below. Stay tuned for the brake update. I'm waiting for the rotors and the pads to come in. I'll be sure to let you guys know what I went with and as to why I went with them. Just a whole unboxing and obviously a whole install as well. I don't know when I'm gonna be able to get to that install. It's not hard. It's a lengthy process just going around the whole car and getting them all done and everything. But looking forward to doing that. The brakes definitely need an upgrade. I definitely need a refresh. And the brace was just the first of the whole refresh. Really cool mod. Pain in the butt to install, hurt your hands, but got it done. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, be sure to ask them below. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you in the next one.